Today I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, Chick-fil-A, and more specifically, how to start a Chick-fil-A franchise with zero down. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flower with a stinging killer beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you ever ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about how to start a Chick-fil-A franchise with zero down. One thing you need to understand is that Chick-fil-A franchise operators pay just $10,000 to open a new restaurant in the United States, okay? About 60,000 people apply for a franchise each year, and less than 1% of them are eventually chosen, okay? And so I'm going to talk to you about the process of opening a Chick-fil-A. You really need to understand what the process is like. It's really hard, but there are ways, there are hacks you can actually use to get your franchise approved. So here are the steps. First of all, let me talk to you about the franchise. You need to understand the Chick-fil-A franchise system. It's very important. Now, Chick-fil-A wants more control than other fast food restaurants. Right off the bat, I need to say that, okay? So you need to understand that. So the company doesn't call the people who run its restaurants franchisees. Instead, they're called operators, okay? So it means that you are an operator, okay? You're working, you don't own or you don't receive any equity in their business, okay? So the company picks the restaurant's location and then owns the restaurant. It's very important. So franchisees cannot sell their locations or pass them on to the next generation, nor can they open multiple locations, which can limit franchisees' potential profits. So you need to understand that, okay? And Chick-fil-A pays almost every startup cost. They just want you to have skin in the game, so they're asking you for a $10,000 franchise fee, okay? But this is what it is. And you want to contrast that with McDonald's, where you would need at least $1 million to get a restaurant up and running, or Culver's, where you would need more than $4 million, but you would own the franchise, okay? And so Chick-fil-A is not really an investment, okay? And they are really clear on this front. If you're thinking of getting a Chick-fil-A restaurant solely because it's a good investment or because it could help you transition to something else down the road, then this company is not interested, because they're not interested in letting you run one of their restaurants. Remember, you are an operator, not an owner, okay? And so the company is currently expanding like crazy. They're expanding in 28 states, and very, very closely, they will get into 30 states. So there is potential here, okay? There is potential from Arizona to California to New York to New Jersey to Massachusetts. The company is growing like crazy, okay? And so you just need to know, the bottom line is Chick-fil-A is incredibly picky when choosing operators. Now, as an operator, you make good money though. You make good money. If you are in a right location and you are running the right Chick-fil-A franchise, you could be making $500,000 to $1 million. So the potential is there, okay? It's very important to understand that. Now, the second thing you need to do, first thing, you need to understand the Chick-fil-A franchise system. The second thing, you need to actually set up your business. What I'm trying to say is, even before going to the interview, right? You need to set up your business. Why? Because Chick-fil-A wants to make sure that you have business skills, okay? You need to conduct market research. In other words, you're going to help them actually identify the locations where there is potential. And you can't do that if you have not conducted market research. So this is where you need to set up your own business, okay? So that you can actually, it can be in the fast food industry or in the restaurant industry, so that you can actually tell Chick-fil-A you have the required skill set. It's really important to have the required skill set, okay? So you want to write your business plan, Okay, you basically want to have how do you call it? You need to fund a little bit of your business. What I'm trying to say here is you need to have the $10,000 that they will require from you as a franchise fee. Okay, because if you really think about it, this is a special arrangement, right? You don't own the restaurant. You are an operator, but you are a highly paid operator if you do a good job. So you need to actually have the means to fund your business so that when you go to the interview, you are already a legit business owner. Okay, you need to pick your business location. You need to actually help Chick-fil-A identify those locations that they have high potential, because that's what it is. For them to actually hire you, you need to bring something to the table. Okay, you need to choose a business structure for your own business. Okay, whether it is LLC or S Corp or C Corp, whatever it is, you need to choose the business structure. You need to choose your business name. Remember, all of these things is to make sure that you present to Chick-fil-A the picture of a business person, somebody who already knows the inconsistencies, the risk side of things, the challenges of running a restaurant business. Okay, you need to register your business so that you have your EIN, you get your federal and state tax IDs. Okay, those are really important. You also want to apply for licenses and permits. So you want to keep your business running smoothly, so you can actually stay legally compliant. This is very important. And also open a business bank account. So all of these things I'm telling you here is that when you actually if you become an operator, you don't own the franchise. But to become an operator, you need to be a business owner, or at least you need to show Chick-fil-A that you have the resources, you have the skill set to run their business, because a franchise is, I've said this before, they are very picky. So you better increase your chances of approval by running something already. Okay, this is very important. Let me talk to you about the skills. Before you apply for a Chick-fil-A franchise, you want to beef up your restaurateur skills. Oh boy, this is important. You want to polish your restaurateur skills or associate yourself with people who have experience and acumen in the restaurant industry. And this is really important because I'm going to show you very soon when you fill out the application, you're going to put a lot of things about your experience. And if you are lucky enough to be called for the interview, you better be there and show them that you have your restaurateur skills actually updated or upgraded. Okay, remember, and here I want to share with you 8 habits of successful restaurateurs. Okay, first, you need to know that it is a business first and a restaurant second. So to be a good restaurateur, you need to run the business side of things. Remember that your employees are your biggest investment, so you really need to pamper them. This is important, okay? And it's not about reinventing the wheel. No, the wheel has already been invented. Your job today is to actually do as best as you can to run your restaurant better, okay? You got to know your neighborhood. Either if you have a business right now or you are going to suggest a neighborhood to a Chick-fil-A, you better know that neighborhood in and out. You need to know the demographics. You need to know exactly in terms of income. You need to know the age bracket. You need to know the people's food patterns, okay? And you need to be accountable. Being accountable is very important because you need to actually know what it means to be accountable so that you can actually be responsible for success or failure. You need to be a resource for your employees, okay? And also walk a mile in their shoes, because you need to understand that, people are doing things a certain way. There's got to be a reason why, and you got to be an eternal student and align yourself with some people who are better than you in the industry. Those are important. Those are important skills, okay? And you need to know the duties of a restaurant owner, okay? You need to surround yourself, or at least know them yourself. What are the typical duties of a restaurant owners, okay? You need to know the skills of a successful restaurant owner. I'm talking about emotional intelligence. I'm speaking about multitasking and delegation. I'm speaking about organization. I'm speaking about operational skills. Talk to me about your marketing and sales skills, okay? And if you want to become a successful restaurant owner, remember that you're going to have to wear many hats. You're going to have to research the industry. You're going to have to create a concept. You're going to have to calculate the cost constantly. You're going to have to hire staff. You're going to start marketing before you open. Those things you need to know before you go to the interview. Before you go to the Chick-fil-A interview, I'm giving you the tips and tricks and hacks you need to be an A student. Okay, we're not doing this show to give you the tips to become a C student, as a C applicant. We want you to be an A plus applicant. Let's talk about the investment. So the investment, as I said before, the cost is $10,000. Okay, you can save that money if you can actually open an account and save the cash, or if you don't have it, you can borrow it, right? The title of this show is How to Start a Chick-fil-A Franchise with a Zero Down. In other words, you can borrow the $10,000 if you don't have it, okay? And some potential lenders can include what? Your bank, other banks, alternative lenders. However, I think you want to start with your bank, and you want to start with the financial institution with which you have a strong banking relationship. This is important, okay? And 10 grand is not a lot of money, all things held constant here. And if you have a fair credit, you can still qualify for a 10 grand loan, okay? And so when we talk about loans, you can seek business loans, personal loans, business lines of credit, personal lines of credit. Okay, remember that again, $10,000 is a relatively modest investment, but it requires an operator job. At Chick-fil-A requires a holistic commitment to own and operate the business in a hands-on manner. Okay, now you're not going to own the business from the bat, right off the bat. Usually it doesn't happen, but if you are a stellar operator, Chick-fil-A might, in some rare instances, cede the power to you and sell it to you, okay? And remember, being a Chick-fil-A franchisee is a life investment. Very important, even beyond the investment. So when we talk about investment, it's not just monetary here. The 10 grand is just the monetary part of things, but you also have the investment in terms of resources, in terms of your energy, in terms of your skills, okay? Remember, this is the success of a Chick-fil-A franchise is tied directly to the passion and drive of the franchisee. Okay, and the company is run as a family business, and they want you to understand their core values, their core principles. Okay, so here is the approach you want to follow. Here is the approach. You want to gather the 10 grand. You want to either have it as a saved, or you want to borrow it from your bank, and be ready to tell the interviewer when you go to the interview that you actually have a passion, you are ready to invest yourself in the business, not just monetarily, but also personally and emotionally. I want to talk to you also about the ongoing cost. It's important to be aware of that. So, we talked about the initial investment being 10 grand, right? But there are some ongoing costs also. Because remember, Chick-fil-A restaurants average more than $7 million in sales annually among non-mall locations. It's important. So despite the potential success and low startup cost, restrictions placed on franchisees might not be worth it. So I just want to paint a good picture so you understand what's happening here, okay? There is money in this franchise. There is money, okay? But you need to understand that 10 grand is way cheaper than every major fast food chain in the US. McDonald's, for example, requires potential franchisees to pay between $1 million and $2.2 million in startup costs, including a $45,000 franchise fee, as well as have liquid asset of at least $500,000. Taco Bell's startup costs average between $1.2 million and $2.6 million. Okay, so when you contrast that with Chick-fil-A, you got to understand there is a big dichotomy. Chick-fil-A, on the other hand, pays for all startup costs, including real estate, restaurant construction, and equipment, which it leases to the franchisee. Okay, so what's the catch here? While Chick-fil-A's franchise fee is low, the ongoing fees are higher than those charged by many of its rivals, and they start adding up on day one. Okay, so they're going to ask you a lot of fees going on, operating fees. Okay, you're going to have some personnel fees, some training fees. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. The revenue at least for the first 5 years, can be actually a lot lower than with others. So it's basically, think about, the startup cost is low, but the ongoing costs are high. Okay, so beyond the unusual fee structure, there are several other items that might give you pause. Okay, for starters, Chick-fil-A prohibits most of its franchisees from opening multiple units, which can limit potential profits, and franchisees must devote their full time and attention to operating the actual business. Okay, so you can't be doing something else at the same time. Franchisees are also prohibited from owning or working in any other fast food business within 5 miles of their Chick-fil-A location. Think about that. So now the company is saying that this limitation is meant to enable franchisees to be intimately involved in the day-to-day operations of their restaurants. Okay, and it encourages franchisees to be actively involved in the communities where they live and work. Okay, so this is what it is. Now another issue that may be of concern regarding franchisees is the actual control over the business. Remember, franchisees are business owners by definition, but Chick-fil-A's franchisees are not. They are operators. So they prevent their franchisees from exercising a key benefits of ownership, selling the business. No transfer of or sale of a Chick-fil-A business is allowed, not even family inheritance in the event of death or disability. Okay, so on the other hand, Chick-fil-A reserves the right to terminate any franchisee's agreement without cause with 30 days notice, or with cause for infractions such as subjecting the brand to scandal, filing for bankruptcy, opening your restaurant on a Sunday or Christmas Day, or if your operations are frustrated by labor union activities. So this is a lot of things to think about. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about how to start a Chick-fil-A franchise with zero down. Now, as a reminder, when considering to reapply, let's say you have applied before, and so the next step is application. I want to say it. This is the application, the actual application. Okay, so if you applied in the past, you need to wait for at least 2 years from the date that your previous candidacy ended. Okay. And if you have previously received a section of your application, but the link has expired, you want to reach out to the franchisee selection technical assistance for more information. Okay, there is actually a link on the website. So here is the actual application. So you go to the Chick-fil-A website, okay, and you actually start the application. You enter your email, as you can see on the screen here. You enter your email, you click next, and you fill in you got to create your profile. So your first name, last name, and your middle name. Also, you want to put your email again, the login name, the password. You got to enter the password twice, and you click submit profile. Next, you can see on the screen, they are asking you for your basic contact information. You put your preferred first name. Next, you want to put actually your mobile phone number. You want to put you want to type the address, or the home, the country, the address, the zip, the state, the city, and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, and you click submit. And when you click submit, what happens here is that you have another type of data. So they're asking you, are you legally authorized to work in the United States? Yes, of course. Are you prepared to devote yourself full time to the day-to-day operations of the business? Yes. Are you willing to operate a franchise? You know, so those are things. Do you currently have $10,000 in non-gifted, non-borrowed, whatever? We put yes. Have you ever filed for bankruptcy? We put no. How many years of work experience do you have? We put more than 10 years. In all of your work experience, what is the largest team of employees you have led directly or indirectly? And we put 20. Okay, but you can put 5 or less than 5, or 5 to 10, or 10 to 15 and whatnot. Okay, and have you applied? Next here on the screen, you can see on the screenshot, have you applied to become a franchise Chick-fil-A operator in the United States in the past? We said no. And if yes, when? We said no. Okay, and you have to fill the rest here. You put whatever information. So they're asking you to list the name of the franchise Chick-fil-A operators with whom you have some kind of relation. We put does not apply. Okay, and you click submit. So when you click submit, you have here. So you have a confirmation message, And so basically they're telling you, we have received your expression of interest. So they'll contact you if you match their list of skills. Okay, now we have put sort of fictitious data on this application, but for you need to put truthful information. And the last thing you need to do is you need to go to your email address. As you can see on the screen, you go to your email address, you read the notification thing. Okay, and you basically have to wait up to 6 weeks before you receive a letter or an email from them. Okay, and once you receive the email, you have to log into your Chick-fil-A profile and see whatever is there. I want to talk to you about the interview. So if you are the lucky one, you have 1% of 60,000 people who were called to the interview. This is a great celebration, I'm telling you. So the interview, Chick-fil-A franchise interview focuses on several core things, okay, which the company wants to make sure you understand before joining their team as an operator. Also, they want to make sure you understand their core values, okay? We're talking about excellent customer service. We are speaking about commercial awareness. We are speaking about flexibility. We are speaking about you having good interpersonal skills, okay? Those are really important. We're speaking about communication skills. Can you actually talk to a client? Okay, your problem solving skills. You're going to be an operator. You're going to, think about it. The average sales of a Chick-fil-A franchise is 7 million. So there's a lot of that's a business. That's a super business. Okay, you want to talk about your organizational skills, your teamwork skills. So those are things that are very important. So some things you should expect is that the Chick-fil-A franchise opportunity is unique in the restaurant industry. So they want to make sure that you are aware of the realities of owning and operating a Chick-fil-A restaurant, as well as characteristics that they are looking for in prospective candidates. This is why I was just telling you earlier that you want to beef up your skills. You want to open a legit business so that during the interview, you can tell them, hey, listen, I know exactly what you guys are all about because I'm currently running a restaurant myself. I'm currently running a business myself, okay? This is really important. And you also need to understand matters of complexity and risk, okay? Chick-fil-A wants to make sure that you are actually you are comfortable with risk. You're comfortable with complexity because Chick-fil-A franchisees run their own incredibly complex businesses, ultimately in charge of all aspects of the restaurant. Okay, and the process is highly selective, so it's really important to understand that. You also need to understand the basics of running a Chick-fil-A store. So one thing I want you to do is you want to walk around the neighborhood and learn about how other existing Chick-fil-A's are being run. Okay, collect intel. Okay, and remember, the Chick-fil-A's team interview process is lengthy, very lengthy. They're going to probe all aspects of your life to make sure you are the right candidate. Okay, and the company, by the way, wants franchisees to consider it their primary business, not an investment or one of several locations in a fast food empire. Okay, so you're an operator. They want you to be they want you to think as a full-time business owner. Okay, even though you don't own the business right off the bat. Okay, but you need to understand that's how they run the business, and also that you need to have prior food service experience. They insist on that. This is what I was telling you earlier. You need to have a legit business. You need to have a restaurateur skills, okay? They want you to have that. They want you to have a fast food, a food service experience. You have managed a restaurant or even have worked at a Chick-fil-A in particular, okay? So those are really important. But the good news is that if you are able to have all that, you can actually ace the interview. You can ace the interview, not a problem at all. Okay. And so if you emerge from, so once you pass the interview, you're going to go to training where they show you everything from food preparation to accounting to customer relations to communications to maintenance, purchasing, planning, management skills, marketing, and more. And when you emerge from that training, you are the newest operator, not owner of a Chick-fil-A location. So this is really important. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate that. I was just talking to you today about how to start a Chick-fil-A franchise with zero down. Okay, so I spoke to you about understanding the Chick-fil-A franchise system, setting up your business, your legit business, very important. You want to beef up your restaurateur skills, okay, restaurateur skills. You want to actually have the investment, $10,000, but you have ongoing costs also. You want to pay attention to the ongoing cost. And I want you to think about the application, okay, the whole application itself. And you need to be prepared also for the interview, all right? Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.